Can you tell me what is page factory?
So page factory, I want to give you a good example. Like it is like, can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
Where is the option to share? Here. We have detached our test script from the objects. Like at a runtime, if I'm using Selenium and WebDriver, that framework, what I can do is like it is little bit like page object model, but it is more like factory kind of thing. If by nomenclature we go, it is like generating objects at a runtime. So its syntax goes like this, like find by, and we have our public. So whatever the web element that we are creating, we can actually return those web elements at the runtime itself. So this is how it actually works like this. Find by, we can give it like something like at the rate ID if
Yeah,
I
I
go
got
by
it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
something like this, and public web, not web. Username, something like this. So next time if I want to use the this particular username for sending keys, or like let's assume this is some input text, I can directly go and use this username and send my keys over there, and whatever data I want to send, I can do that. So this is how page factory pattern works. So we detach our test scripts from the object creation at runtime, and it's like this is like a part of page object model where we are independent of those things. Now it helps us in more readability, scalability, and maintainability. So we can maintain it more easily, and we can expand it our test cases as well wherever our changes are there. And if we want to overhaul, then it makes it task more easy as well.
Okay. How can you delete cookies in Selenium? Which is Selenium?
Delete cookies.
Yeah.
Deleting cookies. Cookie part, I'm not like, I have not been through this thing. I'm trying to recollect if I have seen somewhere.
Okay. How can you
Like,
tell? Yeah. Tell me.
sorry.
Yeah, please. Should I move to next question? It's okay if you're not comfortable with this.
I want to give a guess. Like, there is a method called navigate. I think that particular navigate thing plays with the history of web, whatever the driver we have. Probably it can be used, but I am not sure
Yeah, I
if
got
that
it.
will work.
Yeah, there
Just
is.
giving it.
Yeah, we can do directly driver.manage or digital cookies or method is there.
Okay.
Just a second. You have used like TestNG, right?
Mm-hmm.
TestNG and Cucumber you have used, correct?
Cucumber is separate thing and TestNG is separate thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
asking. You use both, right? TestNG and Cucumber.
uh, I have used SpecFlow, which is part of Cucumber family, and TestNG with Selenium, and SpecFlow with C#.
Okay. How can you handle like Chrome browser notification using Selenium?
So like there is a class of alert. So wherever we have our driver, like dot switch to dot alert. So here now we can do whatever, like either we can accept it, we can dot dismiss, we can also send keys if it is able to accept the input. We can do that as well, any text. So in this way we handle our alerts in our browser.
Okay. Can you tell, like, as you use Cucumber, you told, right?
Yes.
So, which language you used in Cucumber?
I use with I'm sorry.
Which
I use with
I use with
C sharp.
C sharp. Okay. So why not in Java?
Uh, it basically the automation framework was already there and it was completely developed. So we were just required to enhance our script, add our script for new features. So the support was already there with C sharp. So we have to use that. So it was not, so once anyone who is working on Java, if I talk about myself as well, working with Java and C sharp does not make any much struggle. So if I know Java, I can work with C sharp as well. So syntax is very much similar. Only few things are here and there. Otherwise, everyone can work with C sharp as well. If anyone is aware with Java. So choice of language was not mine, but it was already there.
That's I understand. So like which language like Cucumber generally use internally?
I think it is Gherkin language because it is following the behavioral driven development that we use, and we understood that like it is using the Gherkin language. So it was like able to support business use cases, and the product owners and all the stakeholders can write all the use cases in plain language, and then it is much easier to convert them into programming and then mark them like after executing we can then check what are the flags like red, green or refactor phase, whatever the phase we are in BDD approach. So likewise, so this is the Gherkin is the answer.
Yeah, I got it. What is hard asset in TestNG?
So if we do hard assertions, we will stop our execution at that point. If we use soft assertions, we can do multiple assertions, and in the end we can do assert all. So it will tell me at which point I was failed, but the test case execution will not halt. But in case of hard assertion, it will stop there and give me the error. So if I want my test case to keep on executing despite some one or two elements are not found in my Selenium, I can choose soft assertion. But if I want like I'm not able to log in, then there is no point of further execution. I can stop there, so I can put hard assertion on those cases.
Okay. So let's consider a scenario. You need to assess the performance of a web application using Selenium. Can you tell me like what are the approach you take to identify and the like performance and the bottleneck in the application?
Uh, I'm really sorry. I lost initial part of your question. What was that? What the main objective?
You need to assess the performance of a web application using Selenium.
Performance.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm not into performance, but if I have to, then using Selenium, then my approach would be like, what is performance? Performance is like putting any application under irregular load, like what is acceptable load, what is the throughput is there, and we put any load beyond that. So we'll try to hit that application as many times as we can, and then checking the responses as well, that how much time it took application to load, how much time APIs are responding, so we can cache the difference between the response and request. In that manner, we can actually will be able to check what is our how well app is behaving in under normal load, and how much it is behaving when a throughput is breached. So in that manner, like we have to like keep on sending the request to the server or any app or whomsoever we are interacting with. So this would be the my approach.
Okay. And what will be your strategy for achieving parallel test execution in Selenium? Hello, hello.
Audible?
Can you tell me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you please tell me the strategies you'll use for achieving parallel test execution?
Yeah. Am I audible
Yeah, I were audible.
now? Yeah. So if I want to execute parallel test cases, I will put tags in my testng.xml. So in my testng.xml, I can tell what are the classes, what are the tests that I want to execute parallel. So that will be the thing.
Do you know Selenium Grid? Have you ever used for parallel test execution?
I have not used Selenium Grid, but I am aware of that. Like a remote WebDriver we use to execute, and then we can execute on number of agents and number of agents we can parallelly execute them. So that is also possible. Like here in Paytm as well, like we have to test our application on n number of devices, and that is possible if I put my agents, if I have knowledge of agents that are there. So through Jenkins in my pipeline, I will put these many n number of agents are there, and in Maven I will provide my testng.xml. So Maven knows, through Maven we have our testng telling it how, what are the agents, what are the parallel methods that we have to execute, and while we run, then only then it will be able to execute that thing. But I have not directly worked on grid, but I have knowledge how it works actually.
Okay. Have you ever done any low network testing?
Low network testing, yeah, we do every time. So we use Charles for that. So what happens, like whenever there is a new feature which is coming up, or we are doing regression testing for any feature, we route our route our mobile device network using Charles through our laptop, whatever device we are using, and then we put the what we call it, uh, reduce the like what we call it, the bandwidth thing. Like if it is 5G, it is running on 5G, we can reduce it to 2G as well. So I'm not able to recall exact name of that term, that particular term. So we can, I can show you. I have my own system as well, but if you want, I can show that. So we reduce its network bandwidth from like if it is running on broadband, even then I can put it to 2G network. We can reduce the Mbps speed for which is routing to my application, and then to my mobile device where my application is residing. So in that case, we are able to test our application with reduced network bandwidth. So this is how we test our, and this is also possible on our Mac, Chrome browsers as well. We can reduce the network bandwidth on browsers as well. This can be tested.
Okay. So how have you ever identified and addressed like network related bottlenecks during testing?
Yes, yes. So applications do misbehave when we have low network. Like sometimes they time out, sometimes they every application has a certain standard of showing up what type of error it should show. And it happens many times that they end up with a blank page, it do not respond. And what happens then, if any time if any user is using any app and he is continuously landing on a blank page, he will be like blaming the app that it is not working in this particular area, and maybe it is down or something. We need to test it prior to when user is facing that problem. So uh, we can test in on our low network, low latency things, and then we can actually develop in that manner. Then whenever we are having this much of latency, we can put the timeouts and we can show a proper error message to the user that that you need to redo or reload this page or something like that, so that it does not give a false negative to the user that something is broken on the app, or it is landing on a blank page. Or sometimes we also see crashes here. If it is a native application, we see app is crashing on things like that. Sometimes users are not able to log in if he is using web browser. So but the main problem resides with the application thing, network area. So we need to properly handle these use cases as well. So that is why low network testing is very much important.
Okay. Could you please like explain how you can handle the testing scenario where the application relies heavily on third party components?
On third party components, yes.
Yeah. So you got my question, Pavali?
Yeah, I understood you. So I'm like showing on my screen. So like previously I was working on insurance. So like now
Can you before that can you tell me what are the different third party components you have like aware of? Hello?
is it fine now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. I don't know, some network related issue. So I was showing like this. There is classic use case of insurance where user is purchasing insurance, and now Paytm is dependent upon Bajaj Allianz to purchase the insurance on the behalf of Bajaj Allianz, and it will render it back to the user. Now, how this system works? This system works like a user will communicate to the Paytm, and Paytm will create an order. Paytm will create an order for user, but this is yet not checked out. So what next step will be like checking out. Now, when it is getting checking out, it is dependent upon the third party. Now, third party here is anything. It could be HDFC Bank, it can be SBI, it can be Bajaj Allianz as well. So now, how this kind of testing happen is, so whenever a user is done with its purchase, like he has spent his money got deducted. We have also sent that amount to the third party as well. We have deducted our part as well. Our databases are updated with it, but it is not yet purchased unless and until we received acknowledgement from the third party. So here, third party acknowledgement is very much necessary. So once third party, it could be HDFC Bank, anyone, that bank creates an order. So actual order resides with the third party. It will acknowledge back to the Paytm, yes, this particular order is created and it has been successful. If it is failed, it will tell that I have not received this much amount, it is in failed state, or if payment is yet not serviced, it can show it is in pending state as well. So accordingly, order and order state will be updated to the Paytm or whatever application we are using. So that particular state, it is not the state of the our app, it will be the state of the third party that we will render to the user. So user will see what is the state of my application which I have purchased through Paytm, and Paytm will be using the app status from the third party. So this is how, and this will have several things like whatever we are like ordered, purchase date, purchase amount, whatever the status it is, and it will keep on polling the status of the, if it is in pending state or in failed state, it will keep on polling for some time. What is the state of the payment? If it is failed, if it is accepted by the third party, likewise. So this is how third party apps are tested. So it is heavily dependent upon API testing. We test on our API level, like if I hit my request from my end, and then we will check what is the status code that we have received, what is the body of the request that we have sent, and if any order is created at our end, then what is the order state from their end, and then accordingly we render. I hope I have made some clarity on this part.
Yeah.
So it is very much this particular whenever we have third-party configuration, it is very much dependent upon our API level. So we need to check our APIs, what is the state. So it's not only just a front-end testing, it is more on the back-end side as well.
Okay. Can you tell me about the Selenium WebDriver architecture?
Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so Selenium is basically a sort. WebDriver is a component of it. WebDriver is like an interface which is telling us what type of tools that we can actually utilize using our Selenium.
I'm looking for the architecture. How like different things, key components, mainly the key components and the interaction. Yeah.
You mean automation framework?
Yeah, Selenium WebDriver architecture.
Okay. So, if I'm clear, you want me to show if I have to create an automation framework, a particular WebDriver base, how it will, my approach will be, right?
Actually, I want to know different key components and their interaction in Selenium WebDriver architecture.
Okay. So, if I start from basic, like how it is like system.set property. First of all, we set the property of our whatever we want to do. Like it is in our case, it is WebDriver dot Chrome dot something like this, some Chrome driver. We send and then we have set the path.
No, I'm not looking for that. I'm just giving a hint. Sure, like different components like key components like client libraries, WebDriver interface, JSON OR protocol, all the things which are used.
So there are many. Okay. So the executable. Okay. So the like WebDriver is basically an interface, and it will like JSON is a separate thing, sir.
Yeah.
If I talk about JSON is a separate thing, we can have a whole discussion separately on JSON. But if I talk about,
I'm not taking on JSON OR protocol.
OAuth protocol.
Yeah, it's fine.
OAuth. So OAuth is basically like whenever we are using any Gmail thing, like this particular open authentication helps in authenticating.
No. I was telling can you tell me just different key components? Just like I gave you client libraries, test scripts. What are the different key components except these two?
Maybe I'm not able to understand the problem. I'm really sorry. Like key components of WebDriver. There are many things that we can test using WebDriver. Like, do you mean like the methods that we are using with WebDriver? Or just a second.
The internal the architecture of WebDriver. Yeah.
So WebDriver is basically an interface. It is going to utilize the some classes which are there, like could be made up of like it could be based on Chrome, could be an APM service. So WebDriver is just telling that these are the contracts that you can basically utilize to interact with our browsers or applications that are there on our mobile devices. So this is how a WebDriver is functioning.
Okay, fine. I got it. So we can skip this other. Yeah. So how can you handle insecure certificate errors in Selenium?
certificate, like I think there is one, I think accept all was there somewhere I saw, where we do not put any SSL related dependency on our driver, and we accept all something I have seen. I do not recall it right now, but I have used it in this thing in past, where we accept all certificates and do not put anything on our dependency on our. We do not couple our driver for that any SSL thing. And I think there is one more way where we can pass on the SSL certificate details to our driver, and thereon we pass on those details. So whenever I am going to accept get any URL from the driver, at that moment it will check if if it has any SSL related dependency. In that case, if driver already has knowledge on the SSL
There is
certificate,
you can do something in capability. You can set the capability like it's
capabilities. I was talking in terms of browser. But
yeah.
in capabilities, yes, then there are different things, like we can pass on the ports, we can pass on the obviously certificates and all. What is the version of our platform, what kind of app it is.
No, like you need to disable the certificate warning whenever you are testing at HTTP, not HTTPS. Yeah, there will be warning would be coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to disable that.
I think this happens at the probably using some JavaScript this can happen, but if we talk about the capabilities, and desired capabilities are used on Appium side, like if we want to interact with our mobile devices. But on the browser side, if we have to proceed without disabling those error at our end,
Okay, fine.
we I have already explained what is the approach to do that.
Okay.
Capabilities are for mobile side.
Mobile side or
so capabilities basically takes the capabilities of platform, its OS version, the version of the
no. My intention was looking for there is called accept insecure certs. True. If you make this, then it will disable that SSL warning, certificate warning.
Yeah, I have seen that. I was little confused. I have seen some accept all something was there. You are making it very obvious, but I was little confused over that part.
Okay, fine.